Hello, everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host where we are going to talk about, yes, how you can still get grants for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. So as you come in, say hello to me. Don't be shy. Let me know where you are coming in from. Give that city and that state a shout out. Excuse me, I happen to be in the land in Northeast Ohio. So let me know where you're coming in from. We are about to go through a serious heat wave. It's about to be like, whoo, high 90s all week long. Oh, I guess I shouldn't complain, Alicia. You're coming in from Georgia. I know it's probably hot there. You're probably much hotter than we are, and we're supposed to be in the high 90s this week. Let me know. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're coming in from. Hello, Donna, North Carolina. Where in North Carolina? I was just in your state last year. I was in Greensboro, North Carolina, and Winston-Salem. Right. That's exactly where I was. Absolutely, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, is it Winston-Salem or Greensboro? That's the home of Krispy Kreme donuts. I think it's one of those cities, right? That's what I thought. Like I think one of those cities. Winston-Salem. Right. That's what I thought. So you guys are probably tired of smelling Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Or can you ever get tired of smelling Krispy Kreme donuts? All right. Let me know where you're coming in from. Hey, Carolyn. Carolyn is back with us from Mumford, Tennessee. Welcome, Carolyn. Good to see you again. And who else is here with us? We're going to get started because I have a lot of information to share. And it's so important today that you share this information with others, right? Because a lot of this information that I'm going to share with you, you might not have heard before. All right. And so it's really important that you share this knowledge, especially with other women organizations. Hello, Evelyn from Virginia. Where in Virginia? I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. It looks beautiful, but I'm sorry, I will probably butcher it terribly. All right. Let's get started. Woodbridge. You're coming in from Woodbridge, Virginia. All right. I'm in Ohio, and we're going to get started. I'm going to share my screen. So let me just make sure we are ready to go. And that is okay. That is looking good. That is looking good. All right, so I think we can share now. All right. There we are. So I want to make sure everybody's in the right place. This is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. And let me just tell you about my background. Yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured this over $18 million now in grants. And yes, that means one, that means secured, not just written, but one. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPop Consulting. And every one of those years, I've been a professional grant writer. Let's see, my undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And I provide workshops. I teach grant writing now all over the country for many different organizations for your smaller entities and then also your major organizations like the Urban League and Goldman Sachs. Now, I own a business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I've been on both sides of the coin, right? So let me know who's here with me today. Let me know if you are a small business, meaning you could be a sole proprietor or an LLC or a partnership, right? Or even an S corp. Or maybe you are a nonprofit, or maybe you are both, because I'm finding that a lot of businesses are opening up nonprofits. So maybe you're both. Let me know in the chat. Who is here today? Both. Everything is being recorded. And yes, we'll get to that in a moment. You will definitely get a copy of the recording. All right. Now, a little bit about how I got here, because I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. Then I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to literally leave this job where I was like flying all over the world, right? This great job. and just the bottom fell out. I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland to recuperate and to be seen by, like, the best doctors at the Cleveland Clinic. So I went from flying all over the world, literally, to putting everything I own in a storage unit and moving in with my sister. And that was how it was for 4 years. And it took me 2 of those 4 years to even get to the point where I could work again. And so when I was able to work, I couldn't find a job. I was in Cleveland. My experience was in publishing in Pennsylvania, professional publishing, and I couldn't find a job. So that is when I started Lepov Consulting. Now, that's been 17 years ago. I have not looked back, but I started out of necessity because I like to eat and I needed a roof over my head. And so once I started Lepov, one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. And I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. Now, I like to keep it real, right? And there are times when women are called in to do what? Save the program, save the day, sometimes save the entire organization. So if you know what I mean, give me a yes. Well, I had a choice to make. Either I could try to write and win that grant, which was going to pay for my salary, or not only not have a job, but there would be no organization left. This was like a one-woman office. Oh, I see. I see some yeses. You know what I mean, right? The pressure, the pressure. But I did it. I researched, I wrote that grant, I won the grant. And I know that you can win grants with no experience. What you need is a framework and a process. And I have developed a framework and I have developed that process. So I know it can be done. I did it, but it also let me know what you can do with grant funding. I hear from you. This is year 17 of me being in this industry. I hear from you. I know that you are tired of wearing all 20 hats in your organization and you are tired of using your own money to fund this dream that you have, whether it's a nonprofit or a small business. Grant money can be used to help you. It can be used to hire support staff. It can be used to hire, right? And pay for salaries. It can be used for supplies. Like, why not use somebody else's money to help fund your organization? And you can do this. And I'm going to show you how tonight. Now, what will we talk about? I'm going to cover the current grant landscape. It is vital that you know what's going on. And I'm going to show you how you can still get grants regardless of the federal cuts. All right. And then I will show you how to prepare to apply for grants. And then what do you write and how do you write in the application? And then I even have a list of grants for you so that you understand that regardless of what's happening in Washington, D.C., there are grants for you as a woman and for you as a woman-led business and a woman-led nonprofit. Yes, there are still grants available. I'm going to show you where they are. And then again, as I mentioned before, I want you to share this information with other women-led organizations, right? And then we're going to get to the Q&A. As we move through, drop your questions in either the Q&A box or the webinar chat. That's very important. Please ask. This is your opportunity. Please ask questions about grants in the grant world, in the grant industry. All right? Don't be shy. And then I have a bonus surprise for you at the end. All right. Why are we here? We're here because we as women leaders need access to funding. We are grossly underfunded. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? We want grant funding because we don't pay grant funding back. But what you need to know is that you can do this. You can write grants. It's not what it used to be. You're not writing some 500-page document. That's what I used to do. A lot of these applications now are 3, 4, 5 pages. So you can do this, but understand there is a process to winning. I'm not here to show you how to write a bunch of grants if they're not going to be approved. We want to win grants, not just write a bunch of grants, all right? There's a process to winning. That's what I've learned. after having won almost $18 million. And that's what I'm going to show you tonight, that you're going to do what? Share with others. All right. Now, what's going on with grants? We know that the federal government has basically shut down most grants. They've frozen grants, they've rescinded grants. But guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grant funding. This is what I need for you to understand. Grants come from thousands of resources: private foundations, community foundations, family foundations, corporate foundations. And yes, they give to nonprofits and small businesses. But what I want you to consider doing is to diversify your funding. Don't put all those eggs, those expensive eggs, in one basket. Yes, pursue grants, but also pursue sponsorships and individual donations and corporate contracts. Yes, you as a small business can win corporate contracts. All right. This is very important for you to know. Be encouraged, people. There's grant money available, and there exists a unique opportunity for you right now. Because guess what? Most people are thinking, there's no grant funding. The federal grants are gone. That means there are no grants at all. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know better now, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. Also, because of the federal grant cuts, your local and corporate and family and private foundations are literally increasing their grant funding. This is phenomenal news. What are they trying to do? They're just trying to fill in those gaps left by the federal grant cuts. So, opportunity for you to do what? Start applying for grants. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI. Now, we know it means diversity, equity, and inclusion, and includes women, minorities, right? The disabled, veterans. Now, we know that the federal government has cut DEI from its funding, and they're pressuring foundations and other organizations to totally cut out DEI funding. But guess what? These foundations are finding ways to still support their target populations. In other words, these communities, women, minorities, the disabled, veterans, that's who they give to. They're not going to stop giving to these populations because of what's coming out of the White House, but they also don't want to feel the wrath, right? So what are they doing? They're tweaking that language. In the grant world, we call it quiet DEI. What does that mean? So instead of writing out racial terms like Black or African American or ethnicity or gender like women, they're tweaking that language so that they can still provide these grants to these communities and not get noticed by the White House. And this is what you're going to do. I'll show you how in a moment. But first, good news, because you have some foundations like the Ford Foundation, the Kellogg Foundation, they have not changed a word. They give in the area of racial inequity. That's how they've given for decades, and they will continue to do so because they're far less affected by what's going on at the White House, right? You've heard of the term old money. This is old money. The Ford Foundation. I mean, these foundations are over 100 years old, right? So they're far less influenced by what's going on in the White House. But your newer foundations like Google, Apple, Delta, Costco, they also give in this area of DEI. And guess what? They're not going to stop. I've been in rooms with these organizations. They're not going to stop. They're just tweaking the language so that they can still give to these communities. And this is what you're going to do. Now, let's say you have a program that offers youth development for Black boys. You serve Black boys, that's who you serve. You don't stop serving Black boys. You tweak that language. So now you might have to say, we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities, or supporting boys from communities designated as high need or underrepresented in STEM. Do you see what I'm doing? I took out the word Black, I put in the condition that you're trying to help and address. The same for women, right? Let's say you provide employment and career coaching for women. You may have to tweak that language to now say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement. or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to what? Caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. Women, right? But you tweak that language. This is so important for you to get. So let me know in the chat. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm doing. I'm taking out the gender and the ethnicity and I'm putting in the conditions. This is how you're going to still get grant money even though DEI has been cut. You're going to use this other language so that you look for buzzwords: underserved, right? Underrepresented, systemic barriers, right? Systemic inequities, so that you can still get this grant money. At the end of the day, your goal, your job is to get the grant funding, regardless of what's going on in the White House. Because these organizations are still giving grants. They are still giving grants. They're just tweaking the language. All right. So now you know what to do. All right. I see some yeses. I see some yeses. All right. All right. All right. Now let's go back to the basics. What do you need to do? Right? What do you need to know? First of all, grants are not paid back, like full stop. All right? Now, I saw some nonprofits. If you are a nonprofit, get your 501c3. That's your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. It's only taking about 8 weeks to get it. You will need it. It will be a requirement. Now, throughout this presentation, check out the chat often because I am going to be dropping some important links there. All right. Now I want everybody to look at this next slide. This is the amount of grant funding every year. Look at this slide. These are the latest numbers that we have, 2023, $189 billion, billion with a B, just from foundation and corporation giving. Do you see federal funding anywhere on this slide? No. This money is being given out every day, people, every day, every single day. What are you going to do to place yourself in a position to get it? And look at this number, but don't be intimidated. That happens often. People see these numbers and they're like, oh, Linda, there's no way I can get any of this funding. It's too much. No. At the end of the day, I need for you to focus on what you need. So right now, everybody put into the chat, I just need a little bit. Right into the chat because you just need a little bit of the $189 billion, right? You don't need it all. Nobody's trying to be greedy. Know what you need. Focus on what you need. You're going to see some big numbers. Don't be intimidated. That's why Alicia says, I can use a piece of that, right? Don, I just need a little bit. Yes. Evelyn, absolutely. We'll get to that a little bit later. Grants are available all over the globe. Carolyn says, I just need a crumb. I'll take a crumb, Carolyn. I'll take the crumbs that fall. All right. All right. Margot, yes, I just need a little bit. Keep in mind, grants are global. There are grants available all over the world, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But yes, yes, yes. To your question, Evelyn, yes. Now, I need for you to be grant ready. This is where organizations fail. They look at that grant application, they download it, they complete it, and they send it off and wonder why they get a rejection letter. Be grant ready. First of all, I'm going to recommend that you download some type of software editing tool. You don't have to be a professional writer, but these tools now, like Grammarly, they will literally self-correct you as you're writing. I love Grammarly. I would not write without Grammarly. And I am a professional writer and grant writer and editor. So if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. You download it onto your computer. So as you're writing in Word, it will self-correct. You can use it for emails, Excel, you name it. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have this great little article here, Improve Writing Skills Dramatically by doing these 15 things. Why is this important? Why am I even talking about this? Because I do not want you submitting a grant application full of grammatical errors. It is so easy to do. Download Grammarly. Is anybody using Grammarly? Is anybody using Grammarly? If not, download it. It's free. Donna's using it. It's free. It's free. Alicia's using it. Like, I wouldn't write without it. Now, how else are you going to be grant ready? Get your documents in order. Remember, I keep saying to you, remember this. Winning a grant is about more than what you write in the application. All right? Get your documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need the 501c3. Now, small businesses, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your certificates? If you have a board, get your list ready. Get letters of support. They will only strengthen your grant application. Drop names. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians? Have them write you a letter of support. Or it could come from your church, your pastor, community leaders. Now, you all need an operating budget, and don't be freaked out by this term, because all it is a document where you are indicating what you think your expenses are going to be over the course of a year. In other words, how much money do you think you will need to operate for 1 year? That's your operating budget. And it's important because it will give you some idea of how much grant money you should be asking for. All right. But first you have to realize, like, how much do you need? How much do I need to operate? And then if you are currently operating, you need your financial documents, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement, which is also called an income statement. So get your documents ready. You'll need them. Now I'm going to go through the, these are your typical components that you find in a grant application. I'm going to teach you how to write them well so that at the end of the day, you are telling your story, because that's what a grant application is. It's a chance for you to tell your story. The first section is your mission. Your mission is everything, everything. And yes, if you are a small business, you absolutely need one. It will be required for you to apply for grants, required, because this mission is about more than defining what you do and your aims and your goals. This mission is going to connect you to the organization that wants to give you money, because you need to align your mission to that funder's mission. So if you are maybe laser focused on K through 12 education, find a foundation that also has a passion for education. So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101. Now, this next section is where you are going to separate yourself from the pack. How you describe your organization. And I need for you to focus on one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? You must use real numbers. In other words, track your success. This is how grant money is being provided now. Long, long, long gone is the feel good initiatives, like we just give out grant money to organizations because they say they want to save the world. No, you need to track your success. So if you have a homeless ministry, how many homeless people have you placed in shelters? And when they get to that shelter, what happens? Do they go on to get a GED, or do they continue and maybe they're able to get permanent housing, or maybe they're able to get a job? Track your success. You have a restaurant. How many people do you serve every year? Do you have other programs, like maybe a little cooking school that you serve the community? How many people attend? How many people do you hire? That's changing someone's life right there. Impact. Maybe you haven't opened yet. You still want to track what you project your impact will be. So let's say you have a tutoring program. You want to tutor high school kids. You can write in the application, I project that once the students complete my tutoring program, they will increase their reading scores by 5%. So whether you are currently open or opening, you still have to write about impact. That is everything now. This is how grant money is being provided. All right. And then at the end of the day, when you write this grant application, you need to write as if you are solving a problem or addressing an issue. This becomes a real challenge for small businesses to write this way, but you have to do it. Let's take a bakery. A bakery wants a grant. She wants to relocate downtown. She needs a $20,000 grant. Now you might be thinking, what is the problem that she's solving? She is making cookies all day. Maybe they're vegan cookies. Maybe that's the problem that she's solving. She wants to make sure that people who are vegans also have a great place to buy baked goods. Or maybe it's economic development because where she wants to relocate is pretty economically deprived. And she wants to go in and help with the revitalization of that neighborhood. So she's looking for a community development grant. So it doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or a for-profit, you have to write this application as if you are addressing an issue. Think about why you started. Why you? Why? What is it that you were trying to solve? What was the issue? You have an online jewelry company. Why did you open it? There's a million jewelry companies online. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Maybe you started because you have jewelry that's homemade. That's different. Maybe you have jewelry that is for people with sensitive skin. That's the problem that you're addressing. There has to be one because whatever that problem is going to connect you to the foundation that wants to give you money, right? So if that jewelry company, they could apply to Halstead B. They have a grant program for people who are in the jewelry industry. You have to know how and where foundations give. How do you find that out? You go to their websites. Now, I know most foundations don't have a website. That's where you have to get creative in finding information about them. Now, all of you have a decision to make. When you are applying for grant funding, are you applying for operating grants or program project grants? You have to decide one or the other per foundation. Now, we love getting operating grants because when you get an operating grant, you're paying for your administrative cost, your salaries, lease payments, contractors, IT, marketing, your website, your insurance. Now, I have to say, most grants are given to a program or a project. And guess what? You can be a small business and still have a program and a project. Let's take that restaurant. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service. That could be a project. But whatever you do, you have to apply to more than one foundation. Let me know in the chat why you think that's important. Let me know in the chat why you think you have to apply to multiple foundations. At the end of the day, this is not a one and done industry. Like this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Let me know in the chat, why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Exactly, Ashley. There are multiple people applying. There's competition, right? You apply until you get the yes, Alicia. Yes, right? Excuse me, absolutely. This is not one and done. But also it's because grants are not guaranteed. People, please be careful. There are scammers out here. And when you see these ads on Facebook and these posts, there are, I don't want to get on this soapbox, but this is just a real pet peeve for me because I came across it a couple of days ago where people had literally took some of my wording and created this whole false narrative. It's crazy. There are scammers on social media. So if you're on Facebook and somebody is telling you that they have guaranteed grant money for you, I need for you to do one of those military turns and run in the other direction because 99.9% of the time they are scammers. There's no such thing. So just be careful. All right. Now, partnerships are everything, everything, because foundations do not expect you to work alone. And community partnerships will help you. It will strengthen your grant application. And all of you should have multiple community partnerships. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You can give a free tax talk every month at your local library. Libraries are phenomenal community partners because they're going to promote your tax talk, which means people are going to know about you and your business, which means it is going to increase your level of visibility. Why is that important? And what does it have to do with grants? Because foundations that provide grants are always looking to see who's doing what in their community. So it gives them the opportunity to know what you're doing. And not only are you now in partnership with the libraries, but it gives you the opportunity to increase your revenues because at the end of your tax talk, what are you going to do? Talk about your organization. It could be universities, women's business organization that you're partnering with. I want to make this super simple. Let's say a young lady has an ex-offender program. ex-offender. That means she wants to make sure that when people are released back into society from the criminal justice system, that they are successful, that they don't go back to jail. So I want you to tell me in the chat who you think she should be meeting with, who should be her community partners. Now, you know she must speak with the inmates before they are released, just to make sure that they qualify for the program. Who should be her community partners? Now, this is an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure that they are successful once they get back into the community. Who should she be meeting with? Let me know in the chat. Absolutely, Carolyn. Yes. Probation officers. Why they need to know. Yes, Carolyn, and churches, because churches often have ex-offender programs. Police department, absolutely, because she needs their permission to go in and speak with the inmates. Do you want the ex-offenders to be able to have a job? What about workforce development programs so that they can get training? That's right, Joan. Housing. You don't want them to be homeless. Housing departments, transitional housing, absolutely. You want them to have somewhere to live. Do you see, this is not difficult. We just came up with 5 or 6 different community partnerships for this young lady. This is what you're going to do. This is your homework. This is, I can't overstate how important this is, because your community partners will also lead you to what? Grant funding, because they're ingrained in the community. They know where the money is, right? They know where to send you for references, referrals. And you can't do this alone. After having been in business for 17 years, I assure you, you cannot do this alone. So this is your homework. Name 5 organizations that you are going to partner with. All right. Now, we're on to the money. This is the grant budget. This is how you are going to provide your program or your project outline for the expenses that you anticipate using with the grant funding. And what you have to do is itemize those expenses. You need $50,000 to hire an executive director. Is it a contracted person? What is the hourly rate? How many weeks out of the year? You need supplies. How many supplies do you need? And who is using those supplies? And what does all this have to do with your mission? That's the budget narrative, where you describe how you're using the funding. And here's a tip. I always relate the money back to the mission of the organization and the mission of the foundation, because that's what foundations want to see. But make sure you itemize those expenses. Now, this is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is it. This is as or more important than anything you will ever write in a grant application. You need to meet with the foundation before you submit that grant application. You need to build this relationship. This is not a money grab. Like, grants are not, you can't see them as money grabs. You need to develop a relationship. You got to think long game, because you want to be able to go back to that foundation the following year and ask for even more money. So this is a meeting that you are going to set up and meet with them before you submit that grant application. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money. You should want to meet with them, because in that meeting, they're going to give you insight about the grant that will help you write the application better. I probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 16 years. I always think about my one client, 30-minute Zoom meeting, $30,000, because the mission's aligned. And yes, I said Zoom. You're setting up these meetings via Zoom. You don't have to be in person with the foundation unless the foundation is in close proximity to you. Then I always recommend meeting in person. But if not, these are Zoom meetings. Keep in mind, you are applying for grants locally and nationally. The foundation could be in California and you're in like Rhode Island. Set up a 30-minute Zoom meeting. Now, I know some of you are saying, Linda, this doesn't sound bad, but oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember what I said at the beginning. Some grants are 2, 3, 4 pages. And let me tell you, AI will give you your time back. It will give you your time back. It is amazing what you can do with ChatGPT. We'll talk about that in a moment. So I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat, especially those of you that are saying, I don't have time. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get this free money? Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. I don't know. I see all day. I see yes. I see yes, yes. I see absolutely. So it appears as if you got time to get free money. So if you got time to get the free money, I need for you to spend just a little time on this process. And if you are going to seek grants, this is so important. Please hear me on this. Be in some community. I've created a community. Be in some community where you can get help, where you can ask questions, because what happens is that you can become frustrated, right? Not knowing where to go, not knowing whether or not this is the right organization or if this is the right grant, not knowing if you're answering the question correctly. Do I have the budget right? I'm meeting with the foundation. What do I say to them? Be in a community. Be in a community if you're going to seek grant funding. Now, this is how you set up that meeting with the foundation. You send them an email. In the email, you are introducing your organization. You are aligning your mission and your service to where they fund. All in the email. Whatever you do, don't ever, 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 ever ask for grant money. Don't ask for grant money in the email. You'll probably get an automated rejection letter. Ask for a meeting. In the meeting, you ask for the grant funding. Now we're on to grant research. This is how you are going to find the grant money. Now, ladies, Google is okay, but I need for you to use a portal that is set up solely for grants. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information in the US. Now, they give you the names of the organizations that provide grants. You plug in your programming, and it will give you names of organizations that would fund that type of a program. $50 a month to subscribe or free at your local library. You go in there, you let the librarian know what you're wanting to do, and they will give you access. Grants.gov, yes, believe it or not, there are still some federal grants available. Lilly Foundation, do you have a church, maybe a faith-based organization? Yes, there are grants for you. Grantwatch.com, I love them because they give you the synopsis of the grant, the link to the application, the deadline, the contact information. Very, very thorough. They give you the list of grant openings, $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. So spend your $20 and get you a list. Or it'll be much more economical if you want to just keep searching. Spend $200 and get a year subscription. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. They have a lot of grant openings, a lot of trainings. And all of these organizations, the Foundation Directory Online, Grant Watch, Grant Station, grants.gov, they have grants for nonprofit and small businesses. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they're Black owned. They have a lot of free training. If you go on their site, sign up for their free newsletter. Tell them Linda sent you. Now, I want to show you really quickly how you do this grant research. This is Grant Watch. $20 a week is the price, or $200 for the entire year. Look there in the middle. Check nonprofit or business, whichever one you are. Look to my left. Start applying these filters. Who is your target population? What is your area of interest? What is your location? Push a button. You're going to get a list of grants. Now, some of you leave money on the table. Some of you are leaving money on the table. You have to start local. Don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. Start local. It's easier to get local grant money. And now that we know that it is the local foundations that are increasing their funding, you need to know what's going on in your community. Now, Don't disregard the national foundations. There are more of them. Again, you could be in Tennessee and a foundation in Texas is willing to fund you. So look locally, look nationally. Someone talked about earlier, asked a question about international grants. This is for international grants as well. This is not just for organizations here in the United States. When you are searching for your grant, you could live here in the US and serve a population in Africa and Kenya and search for grants. You could live in Kenya and serve a population in Zimbabwe and search for grants. Keep in mind, grants, this is a global community. There are global organizations that provide grants. So this is not just for US based organizations. No. But again, being in a community will be able to help you find the funding that you need. Now, I'm going to give you just this little small list, really just so that you understand that regardless of these federal cuts to DEI, there are still grants for you as a woman-led organization. Make sure you are tapping into helloalice.com. They have free grants right now. They specifically list grants that are geared towards women-owned businesses. The Main Street grant. Do you have a brick and mortar? Do you have a physical location? That's a grant. Amber grants for women. They give away $30,000 every month, including $10,000 to a startup in the idea stage, meaning you do not even need to have earned 1 cent. Then they have a themed grant for $10,000, and the other is a more generic grant for $10,000, and total $30,000 a month. Do you need additional funding? Maybe from an investor, 37angels.com. They give money up to $150,000 to help a female founder. The person asking about the funding in Africa, make sure you go to ifundwomen.com. They consistently have international grants. Sky's the limit. Do you have a startup? They have a grant. Amarillo, I list them because they specialize in giving grants to super small organizations. So no, you don't need some huge conglomerate. You can be a solopreneur and get grant funding. They also give to all volunteer nonprofits. Listen, you don't need to have some huge staff or be paying yourself or being paying anyone. You may be saying, Linda, I can't even pay myself. There are grants for all volunteer nonprofits. I know because I know all volunteer nonprofits that have received grant money. So be encouraged. The money is available. What did we say earlier? To the tune of $189 billion being given out every day, including today. All right. So really quickly, place into the chat, what comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money. What comes to your mind really quickly? Banks and money. Banks and money. Make sure you are dropping your questions into the chat. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. Loans, funding. Do you know that banks, high interest rates, unfortunately, yes. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? I didn't say loans. I said grant money. It's easier to get grant money from a bank than it is a loan. Easier. You don't need a credit score. They're not checking your credit score when you apply for grant funding. You're applying for grant funding for your organization or your nonprofit, not your personal use. Now, it doesn't have to be your bank. It can be a bank with a great footprint in your community. Maybe they have a headquarters office or regional office. They could be a family bank. Banks provide literally hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. Bank of America and Wells Fargo provide over $100 million in grants every year. I'm giving you 4 hot leads here. I'm going to add to that TD Banks and Truist. Don't sleep on your banks. Yes, you have to meet with them. No, do not call them and ask them if they have any grant money. You have to go through these links. All right? All right. Now, artificial intelligence, use it. It is phenomenal. ChatGPT is incredible. But be careful. It is never going to produce the perfect grant application. That's not how it works. There's no magic button that you push and poof, There's your perfect grant application. That's not how you work with ChatGPT. You have to feed it. You have to feed it prompts. What are those prompts? Those prompts should be information that you have developed about your organization. This is where people get into trouble. They only use AI and then they run into ethical issues because they haven't used their own information, their own wording. There's no way around you needing to at least learn how to write the basics about your organization, your mission, your need statement, your impact statement, right? And then you feed that into AI and it will perfect it. It will make it sound better and stronger and longer if you need for it to be. So it will edit, it will retool. It's not going to give you a perfect application. So this is where my bonus surprise comes in because I have written a course that will help you to develop what you need to start winning grants. It is a grant writing course. This is how I won over $18 million. I put it in a course for you to follow. And your little secret weapon is going to be me because I'm going to serve as your grant coach to get you through this. Because again, I'm not interested in you writing a lot of grants. I'm interested in you winning grants. All right. Now, this course will teach you how to write every part of the grant narrative. I will teach you in this course how to do the grant research. But here's where my coaching comes in. We have a phenomenal Facebook group. You come into that group and you ask your questions. Let's say you get to meet with the foundation. Come into the group and let us know so that we can coach you through it. Do you know what to say? Do you know how to say it? Do you know what you never leave that meeting without knowing? We're here to help you. You have your budget ready? How much are you asking for? What portion of your overall budget is it? Are you asking for operating or project program funding? You need help? Come into the Facebook group so that we can help you. I mentioned before, and I would say this to anybody, if you are going to be seeking grants, do so in a community, please. People get frustrated because they don't know if this is the right grant or they got a rejection letter and they don't know what to do. You always, 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 if you get a rejection letter, reach out to that organization and ask why so that you can perfect that application for the next time. Now, the course will teach you over the course of 12 modules and 35 lessons. And yes, I have videos for visual learners. You can download anything in the course, even the videos if you want. But in the past 17 years, I've been hired to create grant applications, including the grant questions. So I've utilized those kinds of grant questions to build this course so that when you are done with these lessons, you have a beautiful grant template that you're going to use to start applying for grant after grant after grant. That's why this process makes it easier and faster because you'll end up with a grant template. But in the course of you creating that grant template, you will have help so that we make sure you're answering the question to the best of your ability so that you are showcasing your organization in the best light. And yes, we give you real examples that won grant money so that you understand this is what's being funded. This is what a winning grant application looks like. All right. Now, these are the bonuses that you get. I'm serious about helping you to win grant money. You get a list of 600 organizations that provide grants. You get the private Facebook group. You get 1 hour of group coaching every month with me. And let me tell you, it's never an hour. It's typically 2 to 3 hours because I don't leave that coaching session until every question has been answered. Carolyn knows, right? Sometimes it's like a 2 or 3 hour marathon because I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. All right. And I want you to look at these numbers. You're not even going to pay a fraction of this. 12 modules, 35 lessons, $3,549 is the value. This is what you're getting in this course. It's like a college level course, but it's easier to follow and you get help because I'm trying to get you to this grant template so that you can just start applying for grants. And when you answer the questions in the course, you can upload your answers into ChatGPT and expand upon them if you would like. But this is the value. I've had this course audited 3 times to make sure you're getting what you need. So the videos are worth 600, the funders list 500, the workbooks and planners and grant trackers. I'm giving you what you need, but this is a slide that you need to see. And I don't want you to be confused. The course is a $5,000 course. It's been audited 3 times. I offer it for $997. This year, I've discounted it to $497 because of what's going on with the grants. It's being made more difficult for you. They're putting all types of hurdles in our way, but I'm trying to just flick them off as fast as they present them to us, because there's a way around what's happening in Washington and with these grant cuts. There's a way to still get this grant funding, right? And you've seen it. Sometimes you just have to tweak that language. So, but it's not $497 for you. You hopped on the webinar. You can take $200 off of even the $497. Yes, I'm giving it to you for $297. Yes, that's a super, super low rate. Yes, you're still getting a $5,000 course. People know that I have other services that are significantly higher, but I keep this course low. One, I don't want it to be a hurdle. I don't want the amount to be a hurdle to keep you from coming into a place where you can get the help that you need. So it's less than $300. Make sure you, if you want to use your code JULY21, come into a community where we can help you, right? And if you want to take 2 months to pay, you can. It's $175 a month if you want to take 2 months to pay. Just put a little T on the end of your code so that we know you want the 2-month payment plan. And again, I'm here to help you. Look at the last line. The course never expires. How often do you get that? Typically you get what? 3 months, 6 months. I said I was here to help you. All right. So this is everything you get. If you want the course, Facebook group, you get the coaching, my coaching. I have colleagues that charge $2,000 for their grant writing course, and you don't even get what I'm giving to you for less than $300. Do not be confused about the price. That is intentional. I keep it low to help as many organizations as I possibly can, because I believe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's tax deductible, write it off, everything, right? All $297 off. And yes, you get a certificate of completion. And to make it easier for you, I give you templates. Remember, I talked to you about meeting with the foundation and sending that email? I give you the template. Remember, we talked about partnerships? I give you a template to send. I give you a grant application template. I give you financials. So I'm truly wanting to help you through this process, because there's too much misinformation out here about grants. People are thinking that there are no grants. And here I'm explaining there's $190 billion available that's being given out every day. You got to place yourself in a position to get it, right? You got 4 days, 4 days. You have until Friday to get the additional $200 off. All right. And I am throwing in my AI grant guide because I don't want you to use as an excuse, I don't have time. I'm gifting you the grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. I even give you the bonus prompts. So if you know anything about AI, you know you need prompts. I even have a tutorial. It's a $200 value. I'm gifting it to you. Now, these people here, look at the ROI. Look at the return on investment. They spent less than $300 on a grant writing course. Last month, Nicola won $250,000. She is not a professional grant writer. This was not in her wheelhouse. She only applied for $50,000 over the course of 2 years, but she took the course and her application was phenomenal. And they said, oh my gosh, this is great. Let's counter your ask and give you $250,000 because we want you to implement this program elsewhere, because her application was on point, right? These are not professional grant writers. Whitney won $200,000. She did what I'm asking you to do. I have a framework. Remember I said apply locally and nationally? She applied to her local utility company. Do you know that your utility company very likely has a grant program? because most of them do, the larger ones. And then she went national. She has a doula organization. She got $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. Kanisha, $100,000 earlier this year. Last month, Kimberly, $84,000. And by the way, some of these organizations are nonprofits, some are for-profits. Cherie, $11,000. Here's a clue. This was her second grant from the same organization. If you win grant money, you always go back and ask for more in year 2. Always increase that amount. The massage company got $20,000. It does not matter what you do as long as it is legal. You can find grant funding. Christina has an online educational consulting firm. You don't need a brick and mortar to get grant money. No. She has an online educational organization. She was afraid. She said, Linda, I didn't have any confidence to follow through to apply for these grants until I got into the course. $10,000 later, right? So be encouraged. You can do this. The money is available. Grant money is available. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to place your organization in a position to get it? We're at the Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing. We're at the Q&A, the Q&A. This is what I want you to do. I see your questions. I'm going to answer all of them. Before we get to the Q&A, I need you to do something for you. Don't do this for me. Do this for you. Like time is up. It's July. I believe in manifestation. I need you all, every one of you, before you leave here, to write into the webinar chat, I am ready to get grant money. You got to get it from up here. You got to take action. It's got to start here. Put this out into the universe. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You have help. I'm giving you help for less than $300. And by the way, we offer buy now, pay later. So if you use Afterpay, right, or Klarna or Affirm, they'll give you 4 months same as cash. That's $75 a month to be in a community where you're going to get help, to get a grant. I don't even know of a $300 grant. As soon as you win a grant, you will have received your money back. Nisha, Donna, are they the only 2 people that's ready to get grant money? That's what I'm talking about. Alicia, write this down. Don't do this for me. Release this out of your system into the universe, people. There's grant money available. Don't believe what you see on TV. For you as women-led organizations, Margot, Ara, Alicia, yes. Now, really quickly, for those of you who want to know, I'm going to show you, before we get into the Q&A, how to buy the course. I'm going to, let me open it up really quickly for those of you who are asking. That's not what I want. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. All right. You want to buy the course is $297. One and done, right? Hit the $497, hit purchase now. Remember, I gave you a coupon. Most people don't have one. You have a big one. JULY, what, 21? Hit apply. It will take off the $200. You're paying $297. Now, you see this little block here? This is a private VIP session with me, you and me. I do a deep dive into your organization. I get you together because before we talk about grants, I'm going to look at your mission, vision, infrastructure, target population, your programming, and then you even leave with a little list of grants. You get the strategy notes and you even get the video. It's $497. The only time you'll see it for $247 is if you buy it with the course. You have to add it on with the course. Now, for those of you who have any interest whatsoever in the buy now, pay later, when you input your code, input your password, keep clicking, excuse me, keep clicking. Once you get to the payment, pay another way. Now, we will take a credit card or PayPal, right? But we also have click the new payment method, keep clicking until you see Affirm or little drop down, meaning you may have to hit the little drop down, click to see Afterpay or Klarna. So that's for those of you who want to pay 4 months, same as cash. If not, we'll take the credit card. And what else? Google Pay, Cash Out Pay, PayPal. Now, if you want just to use our 2-month payment plan, hit 2 times 275. Purchase now, put in your coupon. This is an insanely low course, right? JULY 21T. It will take off $100. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months to learn how to win grants to help you in your organization. All right. And yes, you can still add on the private coaching if you want. You can just add that on. If not, you don't have to. All right. Let's stop sharing. Hopefully that explained the payment. And I'm getting no questions in the Q&A. I'm going to go into the webinar chat and go down slowly. Let's see. Everybody will get the recording. Make sure you put my email into your email contact list so that when you get the email, it doesn't go to your spam. All right. Let's see. I have a foundation in Africa and I work with a nonprofit in Virginia. Absolutely, absolutely. The course will teach you how to search to find funds. So I literally did this it wasn't the last one, but I think it was the group coaching a couple of months ago where there are organizations that work in Africa that are part of the course. And that's something else. You get to collaborate. The Facebook group is about collaboration, right? So you can go into the Facebook group and say, look, I help organizations. I have populations in Africa. Are there any other organizations in here that have populations in Africa that they serve? There are. I'm letting you know right now that there are. So you can collaborate, right? Or when I did the search a couple of months ago on the group coaching call, there's so much money available for organizations serving Africa. Like, let us help you find what they are. They are available. All right. Let's see. I have been scammed. That's why I need to learn. It's easy. It's easy because people, oh my gosh, people try to appear legitimate. I kid you not when I tell you there is an ad. There is an ad running by a program right now that is a scam. It's a scam. And when you click the link, it will take you to some program where they're trying to get you to take out a loan. So please be careful. Please be careful. All right, let's see. I am guilty of leaving money on the table. Thank you for your transparency. However, Walmart Sparks have given a few. Do you know that Walmart gives grants? Do you know that Walmart gives grants to churches? This is how you get the Walmart grant. Meet with your Walmart manager. The that $5,000 Walmart community grant, meet with your manager. They need to know who you are. They need to know who you are. All right. Are there specific grants for educational businesses? Absolutely. When you search, that is your category. Christina won an educational business grant. That's where her $10,000 went. She has an online educational consulting firm. So yes, again, there are grants for any category that is legal. You just have to know where to find them, and that's what the course will do for you. Is it easier to receive grants as a nonprofit? I don't want to say easier. I want to say that there are more grants available to nonprofits because there have been grants for a longer amount of time for nonprofits. There are more organizations giving grants to nonprofits. So there are more grants. They've been around for a longer amount of time. Easier, I don't know if I would say easier, but there are absolutely more grants available for nonprofits, like significantly more grants available. But that does not mean that you can't get a grant if you're a small business. Half of the people that you saw, those testimonials, they have small businesses. Most of them had never written a grant before. Keisha, I didn't even write her name down. Keisha Credit took one of my boot camps in February. 8 weeks later, she had a $100,000 grant. She had never written a grant before, ever. When I tell you what I'm showing you is proven, my framework is proven. It's proven. And this is amongst what is going on in Washington, D.C. Those testimonials you saw, this from a couple of weeks ago, last month, in the midst of all of this grant craziness. There are women-led organizations getting grants every single day. You have to know what you're doing, right? Or learn the framework, learn my framework, because I'm going to guide you through this. All right. Let's see. Credit unions. Credit unions are great for sponsorships, not necessarily for grants. And remember, I said earlier, you need to pursue sponsorships. Do you know that I think most of you should be getting sponsorship money? I actually have a sponsorship kit in the Facebook group. So when you go into the Facebook group and you have to be a student, there is a portal, right? I have a tab called Files. There is literally a sponsorship kit in that tab. So if you want to seek sponsors, which I think most of you should be doing, you can do that. Let me give you an example. One of the students, we were meeting, and she has a small business. She provides marketing to law firms, right, to help them advertise their law offices. Now, these are typically higher income individuals. So we met, and I said, you need to go to your luxury car dealership. She was giving some type of an event for her clientele. Go to your luxury car dealership and have them give you a $30,000 sponsorship. You get $30,000. They get the opportunity to place their luxury vehicle in front of your building where you're going to have your event. It's a win-win for everybody, right? Because these are higher income individuals, a key target population, right, for a luxury car dealership. You should be seeking sponsorships. Credit unions, great for sponsorships, not so much for grants. Banks, great for both. Great for both. All right. Yes, it is tax deductible. You write it off. It's a business expense. So yes, you're going to get a $5,000 course that you're going to pay less than $300 for, that you're going to end up writing off. Okay. Adult family homes. Yes, absolutely. Again, it's not a matter of whether or not there's a grant. It's how do you research and find it? So when you say adult family homes, this is another key for all of you. So this is important. Niche down. Who is your target population? This is very important for you to place yourself in a position to win grants. Niche down. When you say adult family homes, what does that mean? What does that mean? My nonprofit organization applied for the Walmart grant twice and was denied both times. Did you meet with Walmart? Did you meet with the Walmart manager? Did you meet with them? Does Walmart know who you are? Or was it just another application that they received? If you want to get the Walmart grant, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I'm saying to you, meet with the local Walmart manager. All right. Niche down. What does that mean, adult family homes? Is that a group home? Is this for homeless families? Be specific. Be specific. We did not, it was with corporate. Oh, that's a heavy lift. That's a heavy lift. That's a heavy lift. So if you're going after that Walmart corporate grant, you need guidance. You need assistance. Again, people, I'm showing you how to win money, not just write a lot of grants. Remember, I've won over $18 million. You need to meet with them, right? And with the course, so with the Facebook group, you can literally, once you start, let's say you start writing your grant, you can literally deposit part of your grant application into the course, I'm sorry, into the Facebook course group, and ask for a volunteer to maybe review part of it for you. If I'm in the group, I will skim it. That's a totally different service that I provide. I provide grant coaching, one-on-one personalized grant coaching where I will review your application. That's a separate fee that starts at $2,000. But come into the Facebook group and say, can somebody just put another set of eyes on it? There's 3,000 students in the Facebook group. I have students with doctorates, right, in English. I have professional grant writers. I'm in the group all the time. If I'm in there, like, tag me and I will skim it for you, right? There's a process, there's a format to working with Walmart if you want that Walmart corporate grant. But yes, you need to be meeting with them. Absolutely. All right. Does it matter if your small business is a franchise? Yes, it does. So there are some funders that will not fund a franchise. There are others that do. So this is about knowing exactly what is included in the funding requirements section of the grant. And they will tell you explicitly whether or not you can get a grant as a franchisee. And yes, there are many, many, many small business grants that will give you a grant if you are part of a franchise. Some won't, but this is where you do your research and make sure that that grant is going to give you funding as a franchisee. All right. Alicia says, I agree. Getting the local Walmart Sparks grants are super easy, but the corporate is another level. It's a whole nother, it's a whole different level, right? And that absolutely will require you meeting and making sure that whatever it is you're asking for is in alignment with where they are giving funding. And do you have impact? Have you tracked your success? Do you have an outline? Again, there are complete grant applications in the course to show you what is winning. It's literally, I couldn't have made it easier. You literally see what kind of an application is winning money because I wrote every grant that is in the course, and every grant that is in the course won money. All right. Let me see if there are any other questions. Any other questions? Let's see. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Awesome. I'm just saying if there are any. I'm going back to the Q&A box. Okay. No questions in the Q&A box. Are there SBA grants available? No. The Small Business Administration, this is also where some people get scammed. The Small Business Administration is not a grant giving entity. They don't give out grants. They give out loans. Now, during COVID-19, there was there were the PPP grants, but the SBA does not provide grants. Now, there may be other governmental entities that provide grants, but the SBA is not one of them. They're not one of them. All right. Yes, we do. We target childhood obesity to kids ages 5 through 17. What does that mean? You have to be specific. This is a clue for all of you, by the way, for all of you. The more specific you are about what you do, the easier it will be for you to get grant money. So I'm asking her, she says we target childhood obesity to kids ages 5 through 17. How? How? Do you have a physical education program? Do you have a gym? Do you have a nutrition program? Do you have mental health and wellness counseling for kids who are obese? Because whatever you have is what is going to lead you to get grant money. So I want to use you as an example, right? There are multiple categories where all of you, by the way, should be applying for grants. But let's just take this example. We target childhood obesity to kids ages 5 through 17. So let's just say, I don't know, let's just say she has a physical fitness program. A physical fitness program. There are multiple categories where she should be applying for grants. One, let's say it's physical fitness, right? That's a category, right? Physical health and wellness. Look for grants geared towards organizations that provide physical health and wellness. Obesity, that's a particular category, right? Now you're talking about diet and nutrition. That's a medical condition. Obesity is a medical condition. That's the second area. Now you're going to be searching for grants that are geared towards organizations that provide help in the area of diseases. Your target population are kids 5 through 17. That's your third category. Now you're going to be looking for grants that are geared towards organizations that serve kids. So sometimes it's not all about what you do. You can cross over categories. So if you're seeking a grant, if you find a grant that maybe is geared towards organizations that help kids, it's just so happened that your program is about obesity, but predominantly you have a program that serves kids ages 5 to 17. There are grants specifically geared towards what you do, the fact that you are serving kids. So that's like three categories. Oh, the fourth one, you're a woman-owned business. So look for grants that are geared towards women-owned businesses. That's four different categories where you should be seeking grants. And the same can apply probably to all of you. All right. Let's see if there are any more questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Let me just make sure. You have until Friday. Yes, you have until Friday to get the additional $200 off. It's less than $300. We are here to help you so that you're not going to get confused. You won't know where to go or who to ask or where to go to get specific grants, right? Specific grants, excuse me. This is why you need to be in a community where you can get help. As I just mentioned, I broke down that one little sentence and told you how you could search for grants in four totally different areas for your one program. This is how you put yourself in a position to actually start winning grants. Like, get this inside information, right? This is what you will get when you join our community. All right. Okay, let's just make sure. Please put my email address on your safe senders list. You're going to get the email with the replay in it, and then you'll get reminders every day that you've got a replay waiting for you and that you have coupons, right, to get your discount so that you're only paying $297 for your $5,000 course. All right. And let me double check. I think we are done. Da, 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 da. Let's see. We are done. All right. I want to thank everybody for hopping on because I know you could have been somewhere else at 7 o'clock tonight. Thank you for coming to get this information. Remember what I said at the beginning, share it. Share it. If you know anybody that wants to hop on our upcoming webinars, give them this link. Melissa, if you could please drop the link in the webinar chat. Grants are available. Grants are being provided every single day. Yes, to women organizations. There is a way in which you pursue it, though. Yes, you can get grants in the area of DEI. There's a way in which you pursue it, though, right? So whatever you do, it is time to take action, right? It is time to take action. Whatever you do, don't sit on this information. They have put so many hurdles in front of our way as women-led organizations. That's why I almost gift this course to you for $300, right? And you get included everything that we talked about. If you were to just meet with me separately, you're going to be paying a lot more than that. But this is what you receive. Oh, I think I missed a question. We have a curriculum, nutritionist, meal plan, and fitness plan. We do not have a brick and mortar building. You don't necessarily need one. It sounds like it's remote. We also have 3 separate professional grant writers to write for us, but to no avail. That's interesting. I would love to know where they've been searching. Are you a nonprofit or a for-profit? This is for Ava. Are you a nonprofit or a for-profit? Oh my goodness. You're a nonprofit and they have not received any grant money for you? That's a little alarming. That's a little alarming. I have professional grant writers who take the course to hone up on their skills so that they understand how to write a grant, a winning grant. So when you get into the Facebook group, those of you who are buying the course, oh, the women who won the grants, you can ask them questions. They're in the Facebook group. Ask them, like, what did you do to win $250,000? What did you do to win $200,000? They're all very helpful, very nice. They'll answer your questions, right? All right. So you have the opportunity. Hopefully, I will see you this week in the Facebook group. If you come into the Facebook group, I'm going to do something special for you because I don't want you waiting. Come into the Facebook group. I'm going to ask you a question. Give me an answer. I'm going to ask you for the synopsis about your organization. When you answer it, I'm going to give you literally links to grants that will help your organization. Links to grants when you come into the Facebook group. All right. So when you buy the course, you'll get the emails. One email will be your username and password, and the other email will be your link to the Facebook group. All right. But take this information, take the replay, rewatch it, share it. Right. There's really great information in here, including that grant list. All right. I wish you blessings and success. Whatever you do, don't stop. Don't stop. You have something to share with the world, right? And so many of you are passionate about the work that you do, but I know you're tired of using your own money. Like, why not pursue grant funding? All right. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of LaPav Consulting. Thank you so much for hopping on. Again, I know you could have been somewhere else. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this information with you. Just promise me that you're going to share it with others. All right. Thank you so much. Blessings. And hopefully I will see you all in the Facebook group this week. All right. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.